The line between good and evil isn't drawn between people, but through every human heart. Picture this: a man you've known your whole life, someone you've always seen as kind, generous, and morally upright. A pillar of the community, respected by all. Now imagine watching that same man, step by step, choice by choice, transform into someone you barely recognize. Someone capable of acts you never thought possible. This isn't just a story. It's a reality that unfolds more often than we'd like to admit. And it could happen to anyone, even you. What causes a good person to turn towards darkness? It's not a sudden leap, but a gradual descent. A series of small compromises, each one seemingly insignificant on its own. But together, they form a path that leads further and further away from the light. Think about it. When was the last time you faced a moral dilemma? A moment where the right thing to do wasn't the easy thing to do. We all face these crossroads, sometimes daily. And each time we choose, we're shaping our character, molding our future selves. But here's the thing. Evil doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It doesn't wear a name tag or carry a big sign. Instead, it whispers. It rationalizes. It makes excuses. Just this once, it says. No one will know, it assures us. Everyone else is doing it, it cajoles. And before we know it, we've taken that first step down a slippery slope. Consider the businessman who starts by fudging just a few numbers on his taxes. Or the politician who accepts a small favor, telling herself it won't influence her decisions. Or the spouse who engages in a seemingly harmless flirtation online. These aren't evil people, at least, not at first. They're ordinary individuals, just like you and me, who made a series of choices that seemed inconsequential at the time. But those choices have consequences. They change us, bit by bit, eroding our principles, numbing our conscience. And the truly insidious part? The more we compromise, the easier it becomes to justify the next compromise. It's a snowball effect, gaining momentum as it rolls downhill. So how do we guard against this? How do we ensure that we remain on the path of righteousness, even when temptation beckons? It starts with self-awareness. We must be vigilant, not just of our actions, but of our thoughts and motivations. We need to cultivate the habit of introspection, of questioning our own decisions and the reasons behind them. Remember, no one wakes up one day and decides to become evil. It's a gradual process, often so subtle that we don't even realize it's happening. That's why it's crucial to establish a strong moral foundation, a set of principles that guide our actions even when no one's watching. But principles alone aren't enough. We need to surround ourselves with people who will hold us accountable, who will call us out when we start to stray. True friends aren't just those who support us unconditionally. They're the ones who have the courage to tell us when we're wrong. And let's talk about the role of the environment. We are, to a large extent, products of our surroundings. If we constantly expose ourselves to negativity, to cynicism, to moral ambiguity, it becomes all too easy to lower our own standards. On the flip side, if we immerse ourselves in positivity, in ethical discussions, in environments that value integrity, we're much more likely to stay true to our best selves. But here's a hard truth. Even with all these safeguards in place, we will still make mistakes. We will still falter. The question is, what do we do when that happens? Do we use it as an excuse to give up, to say, well, I've already messed up, might as well keep going? Or do we see it as an opportunity for growth, for recommitment to our values? This is where resilience comes in, the ability to bounce back from our mistakes, to learn from them rather than be defined by them. It's about having the humility to admit when we're wrong, and the courage to make amends and do better. Think about the times in your life when you've been tempted to compromise your values. Maybe it was for financial gain, or to avoid conflict, or simply because it was the easier path? How did you feel in those moments? And more importantly, how did you feel afterwards? There's a reason why we talk about having a clear conscience. Because when we act in alignment with our values, we feel a sense of peace, of rightness with the world. Now, let's delve deeper into the psychology of moral decay. It's fascinating how the human mind can justify almost anything if given enough time and motivation. We have an incredible capacity for self-deception, for rationalizing our actions even when they go against everything we once stood for. This is where the concept of cognitive dissonance comes into play. When our actions don't align with our beliefs, it creates a psychological discomfort. To resolve this discomfort, we have two choices: change our behavior or change our beliefs. Unfortunately, it's often easier to adjust our beliefs than to admit we're wrong and change our behavior. Consider a person who has always prided themselves on their honesty. One day, they tell a small lie to get out of an uncomfortable situation. It seems harmless at first, but now they're faced with a dilemma. They can either admit to themselves that they've compromised their values, or they can start to rationalize. Well, sometimes honesty isn't the best policy. I was just trying to spare someone's feelings. It's not like it hurt anyone. Each of these rationalizations chips away at their once firm belief in honesty. And the next time they're faced with a similar situation, the decision to lie becomes a little easier. The slope gets slipperier. But here's the thing. This process doesn't just apply to individuals. It can happen to entire societies. History is full of examples of good people participating in terrible acts because they gradually accepted small injustices until the unthinkable became normalized. This is why it's so crucial to stay vigilant, not just in our personal lives, but in our communities and societies as well. We need to be willing to speak up against small injustices, to question practices that don't align with our values, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular to do so. But let's be clear, this isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or never having a questionable thought. It's about recognizing our capacity for both good and evil, and consciously choosing the path of goodness over and over again. It's about understanding that character isn't something we're born with. It's something we build, choice by choice, day by day. Every time we choose kindness over cruelty, honesty over deceit, courage over cowardice, we're strengthening our moral fiber. And here's a powerful truth. Just as negative choices can lead us down a dark path, positive choices can lead us towards the light. Every time we resist temptation, every time we choose to do the right thing even when it's hard, we're making it easier to make the right choice next time. As we wrap up this exploration of how a good person can turn towards darkness, let's shift our focus to the path of redemption. Because even for those who have strayed far from their moral compass, there's always hope for change, for growth, for a return to the light. The journey back isn't easy. It requires brutal honesty with oneself, a willingness to confront the darkest parts of our nature. It demands that we take full responsibility for our actions, without excuses or justifications. This can be a painful process, but it's also incredibly liberating, because once we stop lying to ourselves, we can start the real work of transformation. Remember, every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Your past actions don't define you. Your current choices do. Each day, each moment, offers a new opportunity to choose differently, to realign with your values, to become the person you aspire to be. But this transformation doesn't happen in isolation. We need support, we need accountability, we need people who believe in our capacity for change even when we struggle to believe it ourselves. Seek out those who inspire you to be better, who challenge you to grow, who remind you of the good you're capable of. And as you work on yourself, remember the ripple effect of your actions. Just as one person's descent into darkness can influence others, one person's journey towards the light can inspire those around them. Your strength, your integrity, your commitment to doing what's right. These can be a beacon for others who are struggling to find their way. In the end, the choice between good and evil isn't a one-time decision. It's a series of choices we make every single day. It's in how we treat the cashier when we're in a hurry, how we respond when someone cuts us off in traffic, how we handle power and responsibility when it's given to us. So I challenge you, pay attention to those small choices. Recognize the potential consequences of each decision, not just for others, but for your own character. Cultivate a deep sense of empathy, understanding that every person you encounter is fighting their own battles, facing their own temptations. And above all, be kind to yourself. Recognize that stumbling doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human. What matters is that you keep getting back up, that you keep striving to be better. In this journey of life, we all have the potential for great good and great evil. The path we ultimately take isn't determined by fate or circumstances, but by the choices we make each and every day. So choose wisely, choose consciously, and remember, the power to shape your character and ultimately your destiny lies within you.